Good day, loves. I feel like every time I watch a playback of our episodes, I'm like whispering. For good reason.
Well, you're far away from this phone. That's also part of it because this phone is just it's hard to get the angle right on this phone.
Maybe, but I'll be looking on Instagram and this phone right here.
Oh, okay. I look on Facebook and it's the whisper is pretty
Whisper game is heavy.
yeah.
So welcome,
Whisper
loves.
game on fleek.
This is episode 93 of the Holistic Freedom Secrets podcast.
They can't whisper like us.
I feel like I'm also whispering because I don't want to wake up Omi. So
They're not like us.
Heads up, y'all. It's just it's an early morning podcast and it's just turn up your volume. We love you. Today's topic is gut health. So gut first, eating to fuel detox and reclaim health is what we're diving into today. And this is Fuel Day. So we are following the 5-prong healing system. Good day, love. Following the 5-prong healing system called the Freedom 5 that we created to support ourselves and others that are working mamas, that are freedom seekers, that are on a path to reverse any sort of chronic illness, autoimmune condition.
Right. And that 5-prong healing system consists of the concepts be, cleanse, fuel, move, and shine.
The Freedom
Today
5
is Wednesday, so it's Fuel Day.
Yeah. So we're getting into stuff that nourishes us, what we are taking into our bodies, right? So what are the foods that directly support gut health, and how does that impact our body's detox process when it comes to other organs like the liver and the kidneys, and how does fiber, what role does fiber play, and what sorts of fiber are actually quality and what sorts are just like filler and your body like not really rocking with it.
Right. Plus how fiber aids in weight loss journeys.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we're diving into today. And I am just really excited to dive in. Did you want to say anything?
Well, yeah, first of all, your gut is your gut has within it a system of like pass or fail for what goes into your body, right? What you consume as food and drink. Your gut will basically process that and say, this stuff passes. You can get, passed around through the bloodstream. This stuff I need to break down further. And this stuff, we need to bully this stuff into the release excrement tract. We need to get out of here in the pee tract, poop tract, and sweat tract. So, or mucus tract, whatever it is. Like your gut is like, you pass, you fail. You pass, you fail. You pass, you fail. With all of these different organisms, not to scare anybody, but all of these different little gut bug people that
the good gut
are judging, are judging the things in the food.
Yeah, so there's everyone. There are these little pieces of organisms in our body.
They're organisms.
Yeah. Yeah. So everyone has
Koi. Sorry. Good friend.
Good day, love. Everyone
Jacoya.
has good bacteria and bad bacteria in our bodies, and it makes up over like at least 80% of our immune system is dependent on these I like to call them the good army, and how strong they are, right, to protect us against any pathogens like any viruses, any things that are harmful to the body, the bad, good, and all them things.
The bad bugs.
The bad bugs. So we wanna big up and build up the good side that is here to protect us. It's kind of like light against darkness, right? All the light workers come together. Okay. So the reason is because when our gut is overwhelmed, just like what you were talking about with the pass fail type thing, when our gut is overwhelmed, that puts a crazy toll on the rest of our body. So now we got leaky gut. Now the intestine and
Cynthia.
everything's all compromised. Hey, love. So, um, oftentimes, whether we are well or whether we are not well, kind of starts with the gut health
Hmm.
because what we eat and what we drink plays a huge role on our overall health. So,
And when
hey, love.
you upgrade the quality of the army that you have in your gut, then it's like you give them new weapons and new shields and new armor, as well as more soldiers, if you will, to help you, to open the gateways for your detox process to, be full on.
Yes. I mean, just think of
Well,
like,
and I was gonna say, and how
mhm.
you upgrade that is by also consuming either really good food that has these things in it, or supplementing pre and probiotics.
Well, both. Yes.
Hmm.
So, at okay, I think I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
Like utilizing supplements, or you can just get it all from your food is kind of like what you're saying.
yeah, and upgrading the armor and the spears and the guns
We got to keep the
and the
visual going.
shields of the army.
Right. Because especially if you have any sort of autoimmune condition or chronic condition that you've been struggling to manage, then your body is already in a crisis. Okay, it's like everybody trying to figure it out in there, right? And so the more that you can build up this good army, that I mean, there's also a version of it in our brains. There's a version of
Yep.
it in our wombs. There's a version of it that's scattered throughout the body, right? Most of our body cells are these good army.
Yep.
We're more of them than we are human cells. Okay, so they are important. And it just like what we were mentioning before, it plays such a huge role in our weight loss journeys or the journey to maintain a healthy weight. If you're already at your goal weight, like I am, or any sort of detox. So helping the body to rid itself of the toxins that built up and built up and built up to lead to the disease. So yes, let me just share a quick little bit of context, a little bit of a story, right?
Okay.
So for years of my life, I struggled big much. I struggled a lot with gut health, and I would have like all this indigestion, be really gassy, bloaty, and this would be any day of the month. And I had a lot of food sensitivity. So if you have any food allergies, or even like you're sensitive to gluten, then
Hmm.
this may be a good episode to tune into because there are like beyond the fast that you can do during the power phases of your cycle, which we can rehash and we've talked about on previous episodes of the podcast. Um, Beyond those particular cleanses, which will literally help to reset your gut in the most optimal way, we can support our gut with the foods that we're eating. And in fact, we need to, because half of it is what we're, half of it is just giving your body time to heal itself because it's popping and great. And the other half of it is supporting your body with the environment. So like the cleaning of the blood, the foods that we're eating and all of that come up and create the environment for healing, creating the environment for healing. So I was eating a lot of processed foods, right? I grew up vegetarian. However, I was a junk fooditarian. And
Hmm.
so I would be eating the packaged pastas that have the sauce already powdered in it, and the ramen noodles, and the frozen waffles from the frozen food section in the grocery store, and the pancakes.
Begging mama for IHOP.
Begging mama for IHOP almost every week, if not every day, low key. And we're eating out, going to fast food restaurants, the drive through. Taco Bell was my homie, stuff like that. And I would have this really weird relationship with food, because every time that I was down, I would want to kind of bring my mood up by eating something, and it would always be like a cookie. It would be a cookie. Or if ever I don't know if you've ever felt this or experienced this, like you wanted to celebrate something and it was like a little win, but how you celebrated was by, your friend would get your favorite junk food and bring it over, and y'all would play the music and get hype over the small little win. That was my life. Or like, hey, we had a cute little success, and diving into the things.
Right. So that was the past. Then
Yes. And then your facial expressions. Yes. And then I changed my life.
Then I woke up and was like, not doing that no more.
Yeah, no, my mom got diagnosed with cancer, and that
Boom.
was a wake-up call. And I started looking into how food can actually be healing, and my whole world got rocked. And basically, I was like, okay, I'm eating the same way my mom's eating. We have basically the same lifestyle. So if I continue this route, then I'm gonna end up with cancer. It's just math, simple math, right? So I knew I needed to make a change, and I wanted to support her on her journey as well.
Now, this part of the story, I was actually in Tensie's life by now. Actually, I met Tensie and started to, talk with her quite often about 2.5, 3 weeks before her mom dropped the diagnosis of cancer on her family. So as soon as that happened, and I've always been interested in at least gathering the information for how to combat various health crises, because I've always been interested in how the societal manipulators, the few, want to keep us sick and want to keep us dumb and want to keep us whatever, not having babies, not having families. And
strong families, healthy families.
Yeah, so I shared with Tensi everything that I could find, a lot of good information coming from people like Dr. Sabi, Dr. Layla Africa, and these people that sort of specialized in make thy food thy medicine, make thy medicine thy food, right? So in sharing that, we were able to deep dive not only into how to combat the cancerous growth in Mama Peaches and Tensie's mom, but also what to do with ourselves as our relationship was growing and blossoming, and how we were going to approach making our food, our medicine, in our own, then relationship, now marriage, obviously. So
yeah. So then I looked into stuff like food combining and plant-based eating, whole foods. What does it mean to eat to live? Like reading stuff on food to live, eating to live.
Herbs instead of
herbalism.
A lot of synthetic kind of supplements, but like herb.
Yeah, so plant-based supplements, that it was coming from the whole foods itself versus other things. And everything that I was coming across, and it started to kind of expand out as time went by, of looking at, okay, functional medicine, doctors, what are they saying? What are nutritionists saying? Oh, they really don't know that much about that little piece, this particular nutritionist, but maybe this functional nutritionist knows how it interacts with the whole body. And deep diving for years of trial and error and trying it ourselves. And along the way, along the path, my mom was actually able to reverse her diagnosis of cancer. She went into remission is what they call it in that world. 12 months into the journey, but 3 months into her healing journey, she was able to reverse type 2 diabetes. So,
and let me highlight that for just a sec. So type 2 diabetes is obviously a disease, right? It's a disease, however you look at it. And at that time, 2016, I was told and I believed it was impossible to reverse type 2 diabetes, that didn't happen. It's not a thing. Of course, I think by now, 2024, so this was a while ago, 8 years ago, there's a lot more information out there and a lot more stories that have made its way, through social media channels and YouTube and whatnot that show that it is a thing and has very much been a thing. But just it wasn't widespread because the information channels were a lot more heavily controlled when all we had was television, right, and newspaper. But uh, lo and behold, she reversed her type 2 diabetes. And then we started to look into that midway through the journey of helping her. And then, like she said, 12 months after diagnosis, she also didn't have cancer anymore. So it was very, very surprising and eye-opening stuff to see her healing journey happen, but also to consume this information and become awakened to, okay, so this is, and it's funny because the more you awaken to it, to like the nitty gritty details of the science, the more you realize how you don't need the nitty gritty details of the science. You just need certain principles
of health.
Right?
Yeah.
So, people say get back to the whole food. Well, 100 years ago, you had to grow the whole food, and that's how you chopped it up and put it in your whatever, or made your kimchi, or made your whatever. You had to use the whole foods when everybody knew how to grow food, when everybody knew how to take care of food if it was a farm, right? These basic principles, like not buying everything in the box, not trusting the marketing on the box, knowing what the ingredients are, and if there's a laundry list, a freaking Walmart receipt of ingredients, you don't probably want to eat that. And just being very simple, it helps you, realize certain things. We have a big comment on Facebook that I want to read, but my feed is like tripping right now. It says, "Hello, beautiful family. Thanks for sharing this critical knowledge. Everything we consume is literally choosing life or death. My daughters are allergic to dairy, egg, wheat, soy. Oh, goodness gracious.
I understand.
Dang, I cannot see.
It just scrolled up a little bit. Do you want to?
Oat and peanut. So it has been quite a journey learning, and I can't freaking see. There we go. Learning how the gut microbiome. It's a vocab word for y'all. Write that down. Gut microbiome. That's your soldiers. Okay.
Yes.
Can impact not just weight and digestion, but your skin, your sinuses, your hormones, your mind, your everything.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. And that's exactly why sent 99 stars. Hey, I don't know what that means, but I think that's money of some kind, and I really appreciate it.
We don't know what that means.
We don't know what it means. We got to look into that. But thank you so very much.
Great points being mentioned in that comment. So the big points that I heard were, okay, allergies and even like affecting the mental environment and our emotions all by food. We're eating to live, or we're eating to fuel disease and decrepitness and unfulfillment.
Yep.
And mood swings.
Big yep.
Yeah.
Big yep. And that's why we do this podcast.
Hormonal health.
Right? B deals with the mind and mindset, as well as the spirit and your soul's journey. Cleanse deals with both the body and the mind. Fuel, same thing. And also cleanse, get the stuff out. Fuel, get the stuff in for your body, your hormones, your mind. Move your body, stay limber, stay in movement, and also taking action. As well as shine, sharing honest, insightful, nourishing expressions with the community, right? Yeah. Whether that community is digital or
in your personal circle. Yeah. So, right on. Okay, let's get into a little bit more
The
deeply
last,
into.
the last bit of the podcast. Yep.
So, one of the things to keep in mind when we're talking about gut health is that, okay, when we're thinking of eating for gut health, we have to really think of three main things. Um, the first one is the fiber that we're taking into our body. This is kind of like, you can call it like your prebiotic. Um, so with fiber, this is stuff that is allowing for that good gut army to be fed. It also helps keep our bodies from spiking the blood sugar. So the blood glucose isn't getting all crazy high and then crashing down. And then when that happens, when it goes high and then has to crash down again and again, then our bodies are overloaded and it wreaks havoc on all of our sex hormones. It wreaks havoc on um, helping us. It's hard for us to come back into balance, and if it takes a while to do so, we have to kind of recalibrate, take the time to do that. Okay, yeah. So there's the fiber piece,
Yep.
and this is not all fiber is made equal. The best fiber is from the food that you can get out the garden or that you can get from the mill. Your local is best. However, the whole foods, whole grains, like even ancient grains, because wheat nowadays is a hybridized wheat that oftentimes is contaminated with chemicals like pesticides, herbicides, and so forth. One that has not been banned from wheat that causes a lot of food sensitivities is called glyphosate. So, fiber, just think of stuff that you can chew, stuff that your body, you have to chew it in order for it to really be taken in and eaten. So, leaning more toward quinoa, not so much toward breakfast cereal. Okay.
Right.
So that's one of the main things to support gut health. Another thing to support gut health is the probiotic food. So this is like fermented stuff, fermented foods. So
Your kimchi,
kimchi.
your homemade sauerkraut,
Or you went to your farmer's market,
or
child,
farmer's market, right?
and
And
or
they
you went to
homemade it.
Sprouts. Okay, sauerkraut. Or kefir is another one if you're doing dairy or you're making it at home with a plant-based version with coconut milk.
Kombucha.
Kombucha is another example. You just want to watch to see how much sugar they be adding.
Watch the sugar content, but kombucha is pretty dope.
And then your yogurt. And one thing about dairy is not all dairy is made equal. Most has craziness in it that causes inflammation in the body. So it'll make pains worse. It'll disrupt your gut health because of the added stuff that they're injecting into the animals.
So if you know the farmer and you know
Their
that the farmer
processes,
knows the name of the cow, okay,
and you know their processes,
then you probably can do some good, yogurt, whatever, some dairy. But if you don't, then
I have a great brand that I turn to for plant-based yogurt. There's only one that I do because
and it's for plant-based yogurt.
The rest of them have additives in them that are crazy. So Culina, Culina, Culina,
Culina. You're right.
Ina. I think I spelled that wrong the first time. Anyway, Culina has a plain and simple version to their yogurt. Of course, theirs is based off of coconut. So if you can't do coconut, then you might turn to something like kimchi instead, right? But that has they have their probiotics in it, and of course, if you do need a supplement because you just need a little bit more of a boost of the good gut army, then a really great one that I highly recommend that we talked about earlier on the podcast is Stellar Biotics. Is by Stellar Biotics. Okay, so second part is your fermented foods. So that's all the probiotic things. Okay. Yes, like fermented garlic is amazing, is mentioned in here over on Instagram land. Thank you, Cynthia, from Affirm Life Daily Podcast. Yes.
Yeah, also watch the Affirm Life Daily Podcast and learn you something about natural law.
Yes, so far we have 2 of 3 things. We have the fiber, we have the fermented foods, and then the third thing that you need is the what they call, fancy word alert, polyphenols. Okay, polyphenols is a big old fancy word that just means eat your different colors of the
Colors.
rainbow.
Yep.
Eat the different colors that are in the rainbow. So
Your
eat as many
peppers, your
colors as
fruits,
you
your
can in your
greens,
given meal.
your
in a
purple
given week.
greens, all of those.
Yes. So each different color offers different different nutrients. So if you're eating like red onions to get some purple red vibes, if you have some cabbage, green cabbage, or you have different things like zucchini or turmeric powder you use to kind of season your stuff. However you get them colors in, get them in. If they're in a smoothie, however you get them in, get them in. So those are the three components
Awesome.
to gut health. Now, fiber acts as kind of like a broom. So, babe, this is important stuff. I'm telling people your facial expression.
We got 1 minute. Let's go.
Okay. Last thing. So when you are eating to support your gut health, you're literally also lessening the load on your other organs. So your big detox organs are the liver, the kidneys, and if those are already overloaded, then stuff will start coming out in your skin. Stuff will start leaking out into your bloodstream and affecting your brain, and et cetera, and et cetera. So the fiber really matters because it's like a broom. It's like sweeping out the toxins, sweeping out the waste in the body, and it's helping to really just rid your body of that so that it can pass through and be done with. Okay.
Now, if your body is rid of the things that aren't allowed in it, then your immune system is more at the ready for bigger alerts and can act quicker. So, those sniffles, that change of the season, allergies, all of those things can be more readily done away with because your immune system is not constantly 3 times a day working against the stuff that you put in it for sustenance.
Yes.
Hopefully that makes complete total sense. Thank you all for tuning in to today's episode of the Holistic Freedom Secrets podcast. Make sure you get yourself a copy of Culture Control by Soul Expression. Okay. I don't know that guy, but he sounds handsome. It is a wonderful start to understanding the world that you live in from a bird's eye view so that you can start making the changes in your family and community that we need to make as a human family to overcome the systems of control, of culture control that are at play. And tomorrow is Move Day. Yes. So we will talk about movement and taking action. Love you guys so very much. Thank you for all of the comments in today's episode, and we will see you in the next one.
Yes, loves. Take good care. We'll see you tomorrow.
99 stars.